Hi guys, I'm Costa Eza aka Solo Black Traveller, and today we're going to be discussing safety tips from traveling solo. So let's get into it. So, first things first, make sure before you go to any country you do your research. Research how to travel around, research if there are areas that are unsafe. Make sure you know as much as you possibly can before you leave and head off on your travels. So, research guys. Make sure you print backup copies of your passport. Take a picture on your phone and also print at least 2 physical copies of your passport. This just helps in case you lose it or if anything happens, you have all the details that you need whenever you get to the embassy in that country that you're in. Make sure you leave your passport somewhere safe with the rest of your stuff back at your accommodation when you're traveling out and about during the day. This sounds pretty straightforward, but take padlocks. It just means that you can safely secure your stuff away when you're not with your stuff. You know that people can't get into your stuff. So take enough for while you're on your trip and then just take backups just in case. So before you leave for your vacation, I would advise maybe giving your itinerary to either a member of your family or to a close friend that you trust. This just means that wherever you are, in case anything happens, they can pinpoint where it is you kind of should be, and that kind of helps. Also, give them the details of your hotel or your hostel or whatever accommodation that you're staying at, just so they can reach you if anything does happen. This is a fun one. So join Facebook groups. There's a lot of travel Facebook groups and you can often ask them for advice about the country that you're going to, if there's better areas to stay in, how safe it is, and people are usually really happy to give out this information. Also, you can find out people that live there. Maybe they'll be able to provide you better insight when you're traveling in that area, or they could maybe help take you out to places, or if you don't want to go out with them, at least they've given you some ideas on what you can and can't do whilst you're over there. So make sure that you read reviews. Make sure that you don't go on anywhere that's got really bad reviews or overwhelmingly bad reviews. Read reviews for your accommodation, read reviews for any tours that you do during the day. Make sure you try and use as many trusted companies as possible. But yeah, definitely just don't just take a chance. Just make sure that whatever you're doing, it's going to be a secure company that you're working with. So speak to the hotel or hostel or your accommodation staff. They're usually really good at giving you loads of information. You can ask them about how safe certain things are. A lot of the time they're very good at giving you a list of companies that they work with, in terms of if you want to do tours, etc, or restaurants and stuff, and they can vouch for them, which is just an extra level of safety and a little bit of stress off your shoulders. So be confident. Even if you're not confident, fake it till you make it type of thing. Because if people think that you're confident, they're less likely to see that, oh, maybe she's unsure of herself or he's unsure of himself when he's moving and traveling about. So just try and give off an air of I've got this, I know what I'm doing, I'm not lost, even if you are lost. But yeah, just be as confident as possible, and that helps people to think that you're not an easy target. More importantly, pack light, guys. Pack light. Not that your stuff is likely to get stolen, but if it is, at least it's not that much stuff. Also, when you pack light, at least it means that you have less to worry about, less to stress about, and less to truck around where you're going. Usually you'll find that half the stuff you don't actually need, you just think you need. But yeah, no, pack light, guys. You'll thank yourself when you're on your travels. So I would advise taking a bag that you can use during the day. I would strongly suggest either using a bum bag or those anti-theft backpacks that you can get. You want it to be something that you're going to be able to know that people can't just take out of. So I don't advise just getting your everyday backpack. If you prefer a backpack, I usually use a bum bag when I'm on holiday because you don't really want to take too many things anyway when you're out and about. And it usually fits all of my stuff. I can get my GoPro in it, I can get my camera in it, I can get my phone and my cards and all of my money, etc, etc. So yeah, use a bum bag or an anti-theft backpack. It just saves you a lot of stress about worrying if anything's going to get taken. So consider checking out your government's website just to see if they have any like safety alerts on the country that you're going to, or if they have any travel advice on the country that you're going to. For those of you who are American, you can enroll in the STEP program. So that gives you safety alerts and lets you know about the embassies in the country that you're going to be going to. So definitely consider enrolling in STEP, and make sure you check your local government's websites as well, guys. So a really cool thing that some people I know have done is taken some self-defense class. It just, at least that way, it will help you feel a bit more confident, just in case anything were to happen to you. You can kind of defend yourself a bit better. Don't feel like you necessarily need to, but like it's good just in general. Like it won't just come in handy when you're traveling, it will come in handy in life as a whole. But yes, consider taking a self-defense class, guys. So whenever you're out and about, don't say that you're by yourself. What you should do is just say, oh, I'm waiting for my friends. Oh, my friends are over there. Like, just lie. Because oftentimes if they think that you're by yourself, they might think you're an easy target. So just always say that you're with people or waiting for people, just as a backup for like people to mind their business, essentially. So consider travel insurance. It usually doesn't cost very much and it covers you for a lot. Just in case anything does happen, you're often protected with your travel insurance. It's really helpful, even just for like health stuff, or if any of your luggage or stuff gets lost or stolen, or even if your flights get delayed. But also a lot of them do come with some extra safety benefits that you might really benefit from. Check with your bank, because a lot of banks do offer travel insurance and sometimes you might be automatically opted in. Also check with your credit card company. If not, there's so many companies out there that offer travel insurance and it usually doesn't cost very much at all. So trust your instincts. If something doesn't feel right, it's probably not right. Don't allow yourself to be in a situation that you feel is a bit too uncomfortable for you. Just step away, walk away and do something else. Like, don't feel like you have to be in a situation. So definitely trust your instincts, because they're usually right more often than not. Make sure to be aware of your surroundings. Just watch out and see if there's anything that seems dodgy, if the area kind of seems a little bit shifty. But just be aware, make sure you take in what's going on around you, avoid things that will kind of distract you from your surroundings when you're out and about. But yeah, definitely take in your surroundings and just pinpoint anything that might be suspicious, if there is anything that is. So don't wear blingy things. Like, I know when you're on holiday you want to look good and you want to look nice, maybe for your pictures or for whatever your reasons are, but don't take things that are too blingy. It makes you a massive target. Anyone that's like like pickpocketer or people that steal, etc, etc, they're gonna look at you and they're gonna see, you know, your blingy watch, etc, etc, and they're gonna be like, yep, take her, that's our next victim. So just wear as much plain things as possible. So that actually brings me to try and blend in as much as possible. Try and wear things that aren't going to make you stick out like a sore thumb, or try and like do things that aren't going to make you stick out like a sore thumb. You kind of just want to avoid unnecessary attention and unnecessary like issues that may arise as a result of you being the center of attention. Like, you might see something happening, you might want to play Captain Save you know who, but just mind your business. If it doesn't concern you, don't involve yourself. Don't try and play the hero. Don't try and, you know, just don't. Just mind, like, do what you need to do to help yourself, because you never know what might come about of a situation that you've gone and involved yourself in, and you just really never know. So get a cheap backup phone. You can call it your burner phone if you like, but get a cheap cheap backup phone, and then make sure you put all of the important contacts that you want on that backup phone, just so if anything happens, you can have that. You haven't lost all the numbers, because most of us don't keep numbers in our heads anymore. So you need either write down those numbers or just get a really cheapy backup phone that at least works in case of the event of anything happening. You can also use that phone for when you're out and about if you don't feel comfortable taking your like big smartphone or whatever, or consider, like, if you have an old phone, maybe just resurrecting that when you go on holiday as your backup phone. So I'm hoping some of you have heard about ice contacts. So that's in case of an emergency. So make sure you have either your friends and family, the people that you want as your ice contacts, in your favorites, or actually write ice next to their name, just so if anything does happen that they can obviously find them and contact them easy. A cool thing that me and my family do is we actually save, so I save my sisters as sister and then their names, or I save my brother as brother and then his names. So that's like an easy way for people to also like see it, and then they're all listed in my favorites. So in case anything does happen, you can clearly see who my family is and who my family isn't, and like those should be the people that you call if anything happens to me in case of emergency. So if you're like me, you're probably gonna end up drinking on alcohol. Oh, drinking on alcohol. Yes, honey, drink on alcohol. So if you're like me, you'll probably end up drinking when you're on holiday, but you need to know your limit. What you want to do is never put yourself in a position where you end up passed out and you're by yourself, or you're having to rely on complete strangers, or just anything could happen to you. So know your alcohol limit. If you don't know it now, like, go out and just figure out what is your tolerance. If it's 3 cocktails, fine. Also bear in mind, in some countries they free pour, so that alcohol that you are drinking in your home country might be a lot stronger like when you go and drink in like other countries. When I've traveled, oh my gosh, the alcohol is definitely stronger abroad than it is in the UK. So just be aware of your tolerance and just try not to go past your limit when you're on holiday. It might seem like fun, but like, how are you getting home at the end of the night? So if you're on a night out and you meet like a cute guy or a cute girl and someone buys you a drink, etc., don't drink it. Don't take it unless you see a drink being poured right in front of you, where you can see it going from the bartender into the cup and then from the cup straight into your hand. Honey, do not take that drink. Just for your own safety. You don't know what people are about, and this is kind of a life thing in general anyway, but when you're on holiday, just be very extra cautious of it. People might spike your drink or do something, and you just want to be as safe as you possibly can. So try and buy your own drinks, or if you've met people that you kind of have started to trust, then maybe you can take drinks from them, but just don't take drinks from absolute strangers unless you see it being poured. So this might sound a bit boring for a night out, but plan where you're going, like have an idea of where you're going. Even if you're gonna do like bar hopping or pub hopping or whatever it is, figure out an idea of where you're going to be, and then also figure out how you're gonna get there and how you're gonna get back. It will just put a bit of stress off your shoulders, and B, it just, at least that way you know what you're doing. You're not kind of frazzled about what's going on and where you're about to be. So before you leave your accommodation, just take, they should have a business card with the hotel or hostel or accommodation address on it. Take that with you, just in case you forget the address that you're staying at. It's just a good, easy reminder, and it just makes life easier. Also, if you're getting a taxi, you can literally just point to it, especially if it's like in a foreign country. So especially if you don't understand the language, that's gonna super help you to just be able to like point to like an address on a business card, and then like, you know, easy peasy, done. So when you're out and about, don't tell people where you're staying. They ain't got no business knowing where you're staying. Like, no, don't tell them. Just, people need to mind their business. Like, why do you need to know where I'm staying? So when you're going on a night out, take very little. anything can happen on a night out, and you just want to, if you're going to lose things, you want to lose the minimum amount of things as possible. So take very, very little, guys. Usually all you need is like a bank card or your cash, your phone and your ID. Those are the only things you really need to take. Everything else is unnecessary and extra. So yeah. So I would advise that you don't use your passport as your ID. If you can, take a driver's license as your second ID, just because if you lose anything, your passport is really not what you're trying to lose. It's, you know, losing an ID is much easier to like fix than losing your passport. So when you're going out on a night out, just try to avoid it where you can. I've not had any issues getting in to clubs and bars and stuff with my driver's license from the UK. So yeah, honestly, avoid passport where you can. And then last but not least, guys, be nice. Good things to come to those who are nice. If you have nothing nice to say, hush your mouth, okay? But no, be nice, because people will reciprocate your niceness, and you'll be like, just be nice. Like, I don't really need to give you reasons, just be nice. So that's it from me, guys. I hope you liked this video. I hope some of these safety tips will come in handy for you guys. So make sure to like, comment, subscribe and share, and I'll catch you guys next time for my next video. Bye.